episode of Girls in the Grandstand. We are very sorry we've been gone for so long, but as you can see by the extra members here, we've been doing some stuff in the background. Just like to welcome Rebecca and Rachel. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're here doing our first podcast as a 5. We thought we'd jump on all together and yeah, it's exciting. We're excited. We're happy to have you.
We are.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, right then.
Yeah. We've been gone a while.
What a race to come back on as well.
It was just pure chaos, that race. Pure chaos.
Drama.
I've never watched an F1 race behind my hands so much.
I know.
In every part with these two and Max and Lewis, I was like,
Oh, God.
What's going on?
It was so much.
Whenever Max and Lewis race like that, I always sit behind my hands, to be honest.
I know, I was literally at the point, I was just like, these two are going to take each other out at one point. And it almost happened.
I mean, they always... I did think, so I thought, oh, well, you know, Lewis's race isn't really with Max, so he might let him go. But Lewis was like, no. Max was just angry today.
He was so angry from like the get-go.
I love the fact that Albon was just behind, so you've just got them two fighting and he's just trundling along being lapped, just like vibing.
This is great.
You got Charles sat there behind waiting for when they took each other out to just come on by.
I didn't even see he was there, and then just at one point he just sneaks up behind the two. It's like, where the hell did you come from?
I feel like anytime if you're behind them two, you know that you need to get there quick because they're gonna come together. They always do. So you've got to
anything can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, Max was. I mean, he's angry a lot, but I think this is the angriest.
Yeah, I've never seen him like that before. Like
the radio message is loved him.
The radio messages were great today.
I have to say, my favourite one is like when GP was saying, "I'm not fighting with another team over an open radio. This is not happening."
Oh, yeah, I mean, not that he's got any hair, but if he did, he'd be pulling his hair.
Yeah. That's why he's got no hair. That's probably why it's fault. Max's fault.
The stress that he has of dealing with Max anyway, but angry Max is, it's probably like dealing with a million toddlers at the same time. Yeah. But they all argue back.
The thing with Max as well, like he's an amazing driver, but when he gets angry like that, he's sloppy. And he was driving too angry.
Yeah, I quite like when Max drives angry. I do quite like it because he's just good. But I think today he was just bordering on just being silly. Like he's just too bit too angry. But then it's just, you know, you can't be doing that when you're driving at those speeds because it's just dangerous.
It is.
Yeah. Didn't you know that he was up until the early hours sim racing? If you didn't get the amount of times that Crofty said it in commentary,
I swear to God, I was losing the will to live every time he said it. It's like, and
like the 4th time he said it, I was just like, Crofty, we know. What's your point? Just shut up.
Last time he did that, he won the race. So that's not going to be a factor, is it?
No.
He was on that podium half asleep.
It just turned into a drinking game. How many times he said it, you take a shot, be drunk by end of it.
Yeah. Max he could literally wake up half an hour before the race and still do all right.
Yeah.
Didn't Kimmy do that once? Like he almost missed the start of the race because he was sleeping.
Probably.
Yeah, probably know it ends.
Yeah, he didn't really care for it, did he? It was just a hobby for him.
Yeah.
You know, I loved that as well. I just loved that it was just so nonchalant about it all. It was definitely refreshing, and I do feel like we are seeing that again with Oscar. Like a lot of that kind of like laid back, cooler attitude.
He is the most laid back racing driver I have ever seen. He's just so even when he won, he was just like, yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Thanks for that, guys.
Cheers.
I was hoping. I really was hoping today with everything. I thought, oh, is he gonna be a little bit more, assertive and aggressive on the radio? And I didn't hear anything from him.
No.
Like he's got to be mad. He must have been mad. Like,
Yeah.
can you give us a little bit of something?
I kind of
He
like
probably didn't say anything. He was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I've got my win. I'm fine. I'm all right.
I don't really care.
No.
Yeah. That was I was very disappointed in my team today over all of that. It was just don't understand why you wouldn't just have pitted Oscar first. It wasn't going to really affect him or Lando at all with Lewis. So I just don't understand. And I get where Lando was coming from when he was saying, well, you should have pitted him first. I mean, love Lando, I love Lando, but he was annoying me as well on the radio. I was just like, just get on with it. Like, I knew he was going to do it in the end, but why he had to drag out as long as he did, I have no idea.
I think it's worse because he was, it was like 2 seconds, and then there was like, you need to let it pass, and then he just was like, whatever. And then it was like 5 seconds. It's like the team. I do blame the team. They should have pitted Oscar because they've already compromised him once anyway. And I thought, you can't do this again to him. But then Lando, rightly so, second in the championship. He's got everything to play for. He's gonna want to win.
Yeah.
And good. So it's not his fault. But then he didn't need to behave in the babyish way that he did. Of like, well, I'm not going to let him pass. Instead, what I'm going to do is put a 5 second gap in between us, leave it right down to the last minute, and then I'll let him.
Yeah, it was very frustrating to watch, and at the end of the day, it is the team that's put them in that position in the first place. They should never have been put in that position, and I don't think that's the first race this season where McLaren have made calls like this, and they've always gone against Oscar. Which isn't right. I mean, obviously McLaren are now the fastest car, I would say. So they need to get all of that together really to ensure that they are actually properly fighting for the constructors, because that could have gone so much worse for them today, especially if they had got closer and they weren't clear with sort of Oscar and Lando, because we could have seen anything really.
Yeah, they could have come together or anything like that. Anything could have happened if they weren't listening to each other.
Lando just seemed to like push like extra hard as well, and it's like, you're medium tires as it is, calm down. All it takes is one mistake. You get a puncture, that's it. You've ruined your complete race.
Yeah,
don't be a dick. Just chill out. Let Oscar pass. And gotta work as a team, like you say. You could potentially take the constructors this year.
Yeah.
You need to be the team.
And you don't want to ruin relationships in the team as well. I think McLaren have got to where they are now because the driver lineups that they've had since Lando sort of joined, Lando, Carlos, Lando, Daniel, Lando and Oscar, they've all worked so well together. And I think that's what's really helped McLaren pull themselves forward, and to go and ruin all that, I think would just be really, really, really silly.
Yeah, it would. You need like 2 of them to be on the same path, on the same wave, helping each other out if needed in races. And if they're not getting on, then it's going to cause issues within the team.
Yeah, because you're just going to, when they come to, be close to each other, it's every man for themselves, and it's not how you win stuff, is it? Because then you ultimately end up coming together. Jen will know all about that.
As in my life for the past year or 2 years.
Yeah,
we just love to come together all the time. It's great.
I will say the same amount of people that are comparing what happened with Lando and Oscar to Multi 21.
It wasn't quite that bad yet.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It could have been, but I was so scared, and I was like, obviously Oscar works with Mark Webber, and I'm like, is Mark Webber just getting PTSD watching this? Like he's getting flashbacks to that happening. Because even Crofty, and I think everybody mentioned it at least once, like Multi 21.
Yeah, I did. I've wanted Oscar to win for a very long time. I also want Lando to win, but just not like this. And I feel like Oscar's win has sort of been a little bit tainted today. I'm not as happy as I feel like I should be for him because of the whole team thing. He deserved to win from the start.
Yeah,
he did. He had a mega start off that line.
Oh yeah.
It seemed that with like the team celebrating as well, like you compare Lando's win to Oscar's win, it was like it seemed that there was a lot more team celebration than there was with Oscar. And I mean, like Oscar may not have wanted as much of a thing because he is like so laid back and everything, but it did just seem like there was a difference in the win celebration.
I don't know if that's maybe just because Lando's been with the team for what 5-6 years now, and
Yeah.
their 18 months, maybe the relationships just aren't as close. I think that might just primarily be it. They've seen Lando go from a rookie to 5 years later, still fighting for that first win, whereas Oscar, he's came in, he's asserted himself, he's got, even though it was a sprint, he still got a first win in his first season, and now he's got what they count. I really didn't like that when I heard Crofty say that, basically saying that the sprint win doesn't count as a win. That aggravated me a bit because I'm like, it's still a win.
Yeah, it is.
It's
You're still winning against like, all of the drivers.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen in your rookie season. That is not a common thing to do.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I just feel like but I do agree with what you were saying, Kay, about like I feel the celebration was totally tainted by this entire like overshadowing of this. Like I've followed Oscar since F2. I was sobbing when he won, but I just felt like there was this whole massive thing looming over everything.
Yeah. I just watched it and I just thought I wasn't, normally I would have been, if it would have been, done properly, I would have been on the edge of my seat, but I just wasn't. I just feel like they ruined it. They ruined a celebration that it should have been for all McLaren fans because it was a 1-2. It's what we always want.
Yeah, it is. It made it awkward. I felt awkward. I think that's just the only way I can describe it is awkward.
And we wasn't even there. Like I dread you imagine the tension
in that room after. God, no thanks.
I mean, at least, because I thought, oh God, are they going to get out the car? Is it going to be really awkward? And, because Lando can be a little bit of a baby sometimes. And I thought, is it going out? Are they going to, is it going to be awkward? But it was nice to see them together. And I think, at the end of the day, he does understand it is a team game, but I understand his frustration as well. So I was like, oh,
it was they had a really nice moment, didn't they? And I was just like, thank God for that.
Yeah.
We needed that.
Yeah, I needed that.
I was just saying, boys are so weird. Like, Lando's at odds with Oscar. Oscar's completely out of the situation. He probably doesn't even know what's getting said down their radio. Like, the team's at odds, and then they come out the car and they're like laughing, joking, and punching each other in the arms. I was like, what is happening? I'm like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, I do not understand this at all.
You have to remember that they are all there to win at the end of the day. They are part of a team, but they're there to win for them. So you can understand the frustrations and the anger from Max's side in the cars in the moment.
Oh no, completely. But I did really like, is it Tom, Lando's engineer?
Well,
I don't know where I've got Tom from. His engineer, I loved what he said down the radio of like, I understand you're looking out for this for yourself with the constructor, like with your championship, but you cannot win the constructors by yourself, and that is our goal as well. Like, you can fight for yourself, but in this case, we need you to help Oscar out because Oscar's helped him for 18 months get to a really good point where, like, obviously Lando's done so much work himself. I'm not saying it's all Oscar's work, like, but Oscar has aided him so much in a lot of that I feel like it was only fair that Lando took a turn and helped him out in exchange.
Well, I think Oscar's been like, if you compare like Danny and Lando was always miles ahead of Danny.
Yeah.
Danny never really got to where Lando was, but Lando and Oscar are always pretty close.
Yeah.
And that you've got that teamwork, which is what you need. So, yes, you need to, everyone wants to win to get points for yourself, but you also do have to, help each other out. It's not always going to be your week. Oscar will help you out next time when to help you win. You've just got to do that. But I can imagine it is frustrating. You want to win. Everyone would want to win. And if they pitted Lando first, like he said on the radio, you should have brought Oscar in first. Yeah, they should have, but
they didn't.
They did not.
No.
I feel like a lot of the blame today does lie with McLaren's strategy.
Yeah,
it just did not work out
the
the way they
team.
wanted it to.
No, they've done this before to Oscar though, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Race. So if they would have done this again, like I think they would have lost a lot of fans over this. If Lando would have put them.
I've been through a lot worse with McLaren, so it would take a lot more for them to lose me as a fan, to be honest. But today did not look good on them at all.
No. I was like ready to cut ties if Lando, if that place was not given to Oscar, I was cutting ties. I was like, I'm done. I'll find another team, but I'm taking Oscar.
This podcast could have been very awkward.
Yeah, it could have been.
We've got no more McLaren fans in the room. Kelly's like, I'm staying.
I'm staying right here.
I can't even go to Red Bull anymore because Max isn't number one.
I would not ever go to Red Bull. How dare you even suggest it?
Not me.
Oh, you? I thought you were talking about me.
Definitely not
you.
We know you wouldn't.
Interesting about Max, because I don't know, obviously there's been a lot of talk of him leaving, and it's always the Mercedes rumours. I don't know. Do you think if it carries on like the races that you had today, he's the champion at the moment. He wants to win. He wants to win a fourth one, but when you haven't got a teammate because he's just doing whatever the fuck he wants to do at the back of the grid. And then you've got your team.
He wants to do.
He's just having a little day out. Then you've got the team making like bad decisions. Do you think if it carries on like this and he potentially doesn't win the championship that he will leave? Will this be the push that, will that be it? Will he go?
I think if he doesn't win the championship this year, I think he might go. Yeah. But I think it also depends on the second seat as well, because I think he's getting frustrated with that because it's all down to him and he's having to do everything because Checo's crashing into walls every weekend now. But I think, yeah, I think if Danny comes back, I think that'll be a huge, huge benefit for Max. Because obviously they're very close friends, they get on very well, but we just don't know whether he's going to leave or if he's going to stay. There's just so many rumours, and it seems like Carlos is the main person that needs to like pick a team because he's the main one that's stopping everyone from going elsewhere. Like,
God damn it, Carlos, just hurry up, pick a team.
He was like going to Williams, and no, he was going to Haas, and then he was going to Williams, and apparently he was to something's going on with Ocon, and Ocon's going to Williams, but now Ocon can't go to Williams because he can't fit in the car, and it's like, I don't know what's going on.
Is that why he's not going to Williams?
Just like, oh my god, I can't go for it.
Is that why he's not going to Williams? He can't fit in the car.
There's a lot of rumours going around that apparently Ocon tried to have a seat fit in Williams, and he couldn't fit in the car.
I did not know that.
He's a very tall man. So.
They're obviously not prepared to work around him then. They don't want him that much.
No. It was like...
They've not got the budget to extend
yeah.
Sorry, Rebecca.
No, it's right. It's like back to the thing with Max. If he goes Mercedes, I will be a bit gutted. I want Fred Vesti in F1. If he gets that, I want Fred Vesti in the Mercedes seat. But if Max gets it, Max gets it. But it's one of them, like, agreeing massively with Jen. A teammate is what Max needs because he is just carrying that championship on his own at the moment. And it's one of them, if Logan's out qualifying Perez 8 times and you look at Logan's car that I think's got parts from last season, then like you've got a bit of an issue there. So it's like, I think that's one of the like talking points with Red Bull is the teammate massively.
And it's not the car, because the car is, the car is the car. But he's so inconsistent. Even in the race, I don't even know where he finished today because I don't even look out for him anymore because he's just wherever he is. And it is all
around 8th, was he?
Yeah, I think it's about 8 or 9.
Well, that's not good enough, is it?
No, it's not. Not for
But
a Red Bull.
I think the problem with, I think Danny's probably the best person to go in there, but mentality wise, he knows he's not, you know, at his peak. He probably never will be again, but he's got the mentality to be Max's second driver, which is what he needs. You put someone young in there who's never been in before, it's going to break him, because you're not only in the most toxic team on the grid, you've got Max Verstappen as a teammate in, you know, one of the fastest cars. If you can't handle that, then, and you'll be out and there'll be nowhere else for you to go. So I think somebody needs to go in there. You need to be in F1 and work your way up to that team. You can't just go straight into that team, because I think it's just over. Because you've got to perform top, or that is it.
Yeah.
Contract or not, you will be out halfway through. They don't care.
They
it's like
really don't
when Perez was like, "Oh, I'm not bothered. I've signed a 2-year contract," and I'm sat there and I'm like,
You will be
I had
out.
a 2-year contract and still got sacked. So
that means nothing when it comes to a Red Bull.
Nothing when it's Red Bull. Like, I don't understand what it is. He must know that he's in trouble. He must know.
Well, they've said, haven't they, after Spa, like, you know, if there's no improvements, they'll just get rid of him. And they need to, like you say, Max, when you've got McLaren, you know, like they are, even Mercedes as well, it can't all be down to Max. You've got to have your other teammate up there, and he's just not every single weekend. He's just so, every time there's a yellow flag or a red flag, you know
it's him. Like,
it used to be Lance, but Lance has calmed down a bit now.
Yeah, he's all right. He's chilling now.
There's 3 guesses with it. It's Lance, Logan, I'm sorry, Rebecca, but it is, or Checo. That is your 3 guesses.
You forgot Yuki and Yuki.
You must like have names in a hat and just like take it. It's like, oh, well, I went in the barrier last week, so it's your turn.
Your turn this week.
It's like when Alex crashed. Apologies to Logan, I love him, but I sat there and was like, oh my, I saw the Williams, I was like, what's Logan done now? I was like, oh, it's Alex.
It's not my driving fault.
It was Alex, and it was still Logan that wasn't the one that raced.
Didn't get to drive his own car.
That made me so mad.
That
made me so mad, because I just thought, that's so out of order.
I
was really
refused to watch the rest of that weekend. I was like, I cannot do that. Cannot do that.
I could not see any other team doing that.
No,
I don't even know how Williams got away with that. Like,
no.
See, for instance, if Max destroyed his car, they would never say to Checo, right, you're out, Max is in your seat. They would never do that.
No.
Like, even if they know it'll provide the best results for them, they have so much respect, and I just feel like Williams doesn't have that much respect for Logan, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah, because that's when you know then that the team just literally don't give a shit about you at all.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you've done nothing wrong, but you're not doing anything this weekend because we're going to put Alex in your car. And then he didn't even get in the points anyway.
Yeah, it was pointless. It was literally pointless. There's a pump for you.
Week after, Alex then went and crashed Logan's car, so they had 2 damaged chassis that they had to drive with.
Yeah.
Didn't they have to bring in the one for the year before for Logan?
I think that's what he's currently driving.
Oh my god.
Shocking.
So bad.
By the way, I looked it up. Perez finished 7th. He finished ahead of George Russell.
Still not good, is it? Like,
just not good enough.
It's not.
No.
I don't think he'll be left after Spa. I think he's gone.
When the race started, and it was like, when he started from at the bottom, and he was like, oh, you know, he's come from the back to win before. And I thought, you actually saying this? You actually think he's going to win this race?
Definitely not winning it.
Oh God. Yeah,
I think that's Delulu on the next level. That is.
I've got more chance of winning that bloody race in my own.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was an eventful one. I wish it was like that all the not
all the time.
Like that,
no, I don't want that.
But
once in a while.
And all I had, there was like, oh, you know, you can't really overtake it. I've never seen so many overtakes.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
On behalf of me and Kel, I would like to say none of us want a repeat of that ever again.
No,
not like
please no,
not like that drama, but just
excitement, racing.
Yeah,
yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
because we
Jen
also
probably doesn't want a repeat of this race either.
No,
I don't
Yeah,
want to
true.
repeat of the last two. Never mind this one.
I feel like
of the last two. You mean the last two seasons?
Yeah. And I've still got 2 more of it. If you see me in the corner crying for the next 2 years, just leave me there.
I feel like we never know what's going on, and then the radio just message, and they're like, "Oh, can you retire the car?" Like, can we have some context of this? This
I
is
know,
all we
I
keep together.
literally, I went to answer the door for my shopping and I come back and
Come
Pierre's
back and he's
retired and I'm
retired.
like,
Why?
The thing is, though, the amount of parts that they changed on his car to make him start from the pit lane, and then he's still retired from the race. It's like, what?
I'm just
is
like, I'm done with
going
that
on?
car this year. Like, I'm generally done with it. I'm done. I swear
Why
he has
don't
a
you
bad
just
race
go
next
over?
week.
Just give it a good kick.
Just kick it.
That's all it needs.
He was fuming in his interview though, because he was like, we were up there, we were in the points, we were going to get like 1 point or 2 points. Obviously, Ocon finished at the bottom, but
That's Ocon. Ocon doing Ocon thing.
not talk about that. But he said that he was really disappointed. He was upset. He thought we could get points, and it feels like nothing's working within the team, and that they need to fix it ASAP. Which is right, they do, because he's had 2 DNFs now. He's got like 6 or 7 points, I want to say, throughout the whole season. He's not one of them to just sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm out the points." He wants to be in the points. He wants to be up there fighting. So you better fix it for next week, or I'm going to be going down to Alpine, and I'm going to be having some words.
I will say, I do want to know what all those investors think, because you have like Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Ryan Reynolds, like you have big names investing in this team. The guy from Always Sunny, whose name I can never remember. Is it Rob McElhenney?
The thing is, you can be investors and you don't really care. Like,
Sure.
I have my opinion on Ryan Reynolds and Rob, whatever he's called. That's
Yeah, I
a
think
whole
it is Rob
different story,
McElhenney.
I think as investors, you're just putting your money in and you don't really care where it's going. They don't really pay attention. They come to a race like
Every now and
very
again.
rarely. Like, the only reason Travis Kelce and Patrick were there is because the season's not on. But rarely they show up. Have I seen Ryan this season? Probably not, I would say. I don't
No, I
think
don't
it's
remember.
him. So it's like they show up every now and again and that's it.
I think he might have been at Miami, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
But yeah, I think investors just put the money in, hope for the best, and just sit back and see what happens.
Yeah, it's no when you've got that much money that you can invest in stuff, you're not really you're just whatever, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, if I get money out of it, I get money out of it. If I don't, whatever.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's 2 DNFs is like, come on now, do something. Fix it.
It's just painful. It's just you're going into the race and you're expecting to either be at the back of the grid because you can't get the car into Q3, or you're expecting to somewhat DNF because his gearbox has gone wrong or something else has gone wrong. Like, he literally put a new gearbox in today and he's still DNF. Like, what is going on with that car? Like, seriously. If I was him, I'd be absolutely fuming. And I'd want it fixed ASAP, especially with it being Spa next week. We know how important this race is to him and how much it means to him. Like, if he DNFs there, I think he will be absolutely fuming.
So I remember, wasn't last year he was on the podium?
Yeah, he got the podium in the sprint race, I think, if I remember, which was a huge thing for Spa because it is like the most important race to him. So I don't say he's going to get on the podium because that car is not good, but to be in the points, I think, would be a huge moment for him.
Yeah, no, completely.
Yeah, it must be frustrating as well when you're, you giving it your all, and you can see you can see you climbing your way up the grid, and then all of a sudden you just get that radio message of like, we need to retire the car. Like, you've been giving it everything, and they all seem like they have no idea that radio message is coming, and then it's like, oh yeah, sorry, but we're out. You'd just be gutted.
Yeah, you'd be so upset and angry and wanting to know exactly what's wrong and making sure they fix it. Because he's in the Alpine, like, actual sim, like, pretty much 7 days a week. And to go out there in a race and not be able to get the results must be so frustrating. And especially now he signed a new contract, you might be a bit like, oh, why did I do that? Now I'm stuck and I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, isn't it? A lot of them, I think, do you know what? I think the same about Charles, to be honest, because obviously I mean, everyone knows he's Ferrari's golden boy, but I think even he's now, when he signed again with Ferrari, thinks, what am I actually doing? Because they still don't have a clue what they're doing. They're not just. But then, I suppose, I don't know. Personally, I do think Carlos is a better driver than Charles. And I'm sad to see him leave. But obviously, they're not going to get rid of Charles being Charles. He's meant for Ferrari, but, you know, it was always his dream to be there. But I don't know, is it a mistake to stay there? Because I don't see him winning a championship ever with Ferrari, even with Lewis as a team. I don't see it, because it seems like when they get up there or they're showing signs of being good, something happens, either driver-wise or strategy-wise. They just don't see, they just don't communicate very well as a team. And it's like the driver's asking, well, should we do this? And then the team are like, well, what about this? Like, why are you not, just go in with a straight plan? Because they're always disagreeing on the radio, and it's just, yeah. I think sometimes, like, he maybe thinks, oh God, this is a mistake.
Yeah.
Like Albon today with his radio, he was getting really annoyed at the team, and it's one of them. Like, I don't really expect that from Albon. Like, I've never heard him that angry on the radio, and it just shows that, like, they have had the struggles this year with Logan, and I think, like, everyone knows, and James Howes has openly spoke about the struggles that they've had with him and the car. But it's now to see Alex struggling as well. I think he's only got 4 points this season, and it was like going in from Silverstone, so it was like he got points at Silverstone, Logan got his highest finish, and you're like, right, we're on a bit of a roll here. And then it's today to hear, I think it was like Logan didn't get the best start, and his radio was on. It was heartbreaking. It was like with what he was saying, and then it's like for Alex to start then arguing on the radio about the plans. It's just like, it's the exact same with Williams. It's like, what's going on, and can they actually sort it? Because it's like, as we've said, they don't have the money at the moment, as seen with the issues they've got with Logan having parts from seasons ago and things like that. So it's just like, is it now Alex is thinking, well, what's going to happen next year? Because it's still unknown who his teammate's going to be and what the car setup is going to be like for next year, because it could be in the exact same situation money-wise, and, well, even worse with where they currently are in the, like, constructors. But it's, I think they said that the announcement for the, like, new Williams drive is set to be August. So if they avoid the 20th, I'm happy. Don't really want Logan being announced as going on my birthday.
Oh God, no, that'd be awful. That'd be the worst birthday ever.
Wake up to the message of, oh yeah, Logan Sargent's been kicked out his Williams.
Oh my God, no.
Oh. Yeah, I think there's a few teams at the moment that need to have a good hard look at themselves.
It feels like the only, like, actual decent team on the grid is Haas. It seems like they're the only stable team. Like,
they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah,
they're just vibing and having a great time, and everyone else is falling apart.
Yeah. You know what, though? I fully expected, because obviously Kevin is going to be no longer with us, and he just goes around
make it sound like he's dying.
He's no longer a part of F1. He's very much still going to be alive. I'm sorry.
No longer with us.
You know what I mean.
Oh my God.
But, like, he's just an absolute menace anyway. So I thought, now that he's like, well, my time in F1 is done, I don't want him anywhere near a driver that I like, because
it's just going to cause chaos.
He's got nothing to lose now. Yeah. He's got everything to play for, so he could just, go knock everybody out.
Yeah.
What's the matter to it?
He'll win one race, won't he? Just be like, ha, look what I've done.
Yeah, by taking out, like, half the grid.
Yeah, half the grid of our DNF because he's caused a crash in some way or another.
Well, he's managed to avoid any damage.
That'll be the way I get to see Logan on a podium.
Yeah.
He'll avoid it all.
He's the only one left. It's just him.
Just Logan going round.
I mean, did you?
Oh, this is nice.
Just talking about Kevin, did you hear what he said about Ollie?
No.
What he said about Ollie?
He's basically said, like, before it got announced he was leaving, he was like, well, I'm not here to babysit a kid on the grid. I've got 2 kids at home I can babysit.
Don't need
And
babysitting.
then, like, 2 days later, it got announced he was leaving. And I'm like, I
Maybe
don't
that's
know
why
if
you're
that was
leaving,
just
then, mate.
timing, or if he said that he's like, knows he's going. He's like, well, I can say what I want.
Yeah.
He said, like, I'm not here to babysit. Like, I'm not here to look after a rookie. Like, we need someone competent in the car. I'm like, first of all, we have no clue what Ollie's going to be like in that car.
No.
It's a brave assumption to say we need somebody competent when you don't know what he's going to be like.
No.
Yeah, I think Ollie's going to be all right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think he'll be
he's
just
gonna be great.
fine.
I mean,
Just
he got into the points with a Ferrari, so we're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Step into the Ferrari for the first time and get points. I think he's going to be all right,
Yeah.
Kim. He's probably a little bit better than you if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I know it's like he's higher than people on the constructors who race week in, week out, and he was there for one race.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca, that's coming for your team.
That's yours.
So, but I think it's like for a while, Ollie was actually higher in the F1 standings than he was in F2. I don't know whether that's still the case, but it's like you look at that and it's like one race and he's higher in them standings.
Yeah.
He's not had a good race in F2 this year, though, to be honest.
No, it's been hard.
He's had some pretty bad luck this year.
I do think he might have been told by his management, like, don't worry about the F2 this season. Like, we know you're guaranteed for F1, so F2 kind of just relax and enjoy it. There's no pressure to get results.
You still want to go out with a bang, really, don't you?
Yeah.
He's like last no pressure year there as well, because as soon as he goes into F1, this will be
Oh, yeah.
season down his neck. This is the last year he'll get of like kind of a more relaxed environment, as much as you can be relaxed going into kilometers an hour or however fast the F2 cars go.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I mean again with, bringing somebody into that Red Bull seat. There's pressure in F1 anyway, because there's only 20 of you. You're the best drivers in the world. But to take that Red Bull seat is more pressure than anything else. And if you can't hack that, then I think it would just, if you come in there and you're like 18, 19 and you're up against Max and that team's pressuring you every single race, you've got to perform. I think it's just gonna kind of ruin the whole thing for you, to the point where you're like, well, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, it can break you down and it can ruin you. Look what happened to Pierre. He literally went back to AlphaTauri, a broken man.
Everybody knows they're, a toxic team with the way that they treat the drivers. So but if it were me, I'd be like, I'll go to any other team but them. Unless I knew that I was, I'd been in F1 for a few years and I felt confident to take on Max. Not to take on, but, to help him. Because you're never going to beat him, really, let's be honest.
No.
I think I would more like to take on Max in the Red Bull than I would to take on George in the Mercedes, though.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started on it.
I feel like George in the Mercedes would be my worst nightmare.
Yeah. George just in general.
just in general.
Just George.
Just George. It doesn't have to be. It's just there.
I've actually still to meet a George fan. Like, I've never actually met one.
I used to be a George fan when he was with Williams. I so wanted him to get a Mercedes because he deserved that seat and he deserved to do so well. But oh my God, he's changed since he got in that Mercedes seat.
Yeah.
He's so arrogant now and just so different. And I only wanted the best for him, but now I don't anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
See that polygraph thing that he done, where he was like, I think I done too many seasons at Williams, and I'm like, you done 2 seasons at Williams? You're basically saying you're better than Williams. That aggravated me to no end. So I was like, they're the reason you're where you are right now.
Yeah.
You cannot just turn and spit on your team that have got you to where you are today.
That's the problem with him now. He was always, you always wanted him to do well and he felt like he deserved better. But since going to Mercedes, he's just so arrogant with everything, with his racing, with his attitude, just the way he is. And I just think you've gone from being, like everyone wanting you to do well to literally nobody really liking you now. And especially the way, you've got Lewis as a team. I've never been a fan of Mercedes. It's no secret. But I think that I've never really been a Lewis fan either, but I do prefer Lewis over George now. And I think just the way that he treats Lewis with like the team. Lewis has won 7 world championships. You need to remember that. You need to remember who your teammate is. You should be playing the second driver, but the way he comes in arrogant, like this is my team.
Yeah.
Not a fan. And I don't really want to see Carlos there because I really like Carlos, but I cannot support Mercedes.
I mean, just going back to like what we were saying about the polygraph and like the way Lewis is, you heard Lewis when he got the 3rd place. He's like congratulating McLaren. He's like, "That's my beginning. That's where I started.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see them doing well." I think that just shows you what a class act Lewis is. The fact that he's like, that may not be my team anymore, but I still have so much love and respect for them, and I'm glad seeing these boys coming up. He's
Yeah.
like, I know they'll do well. Like, even though they are rivals, he knows where the line stops. He knows as soon as he comes out that car, all rivalries end. Like, I wouldn't say they're all friends, but they're all friendly with each other. But sorry, Jen. Sorry, Jen.
It's fine.
Like, but we do see like a lot of good relationships here, and I feel like it's so nice to see that like a lot of them do know where the line ends.
Yeah. Well, I think we were going to try and fit in some Silverstone into this one, weren't we? Because Rebecca actually went to the whole race weekend, and we couldn't record last week. So, how was Silverstone, Rebecca?
It was very hectic, and I mean, we went through every single emotion I think you can feel while at a race, including having our tent flooded, so you could go for a little swim.
God.
Welcome to the UK.
Yeah, literally. That's why we go abroad for races.
I love our summer.
One of them, packing all my stuff like ready to go, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna need a coat. Just thinking, it's July, it'll be fine. Friday, let's just say I nearly have to take out a loan to buy my coat.
Oh my God.
But it's paid for itself in the amount that I wore it. But yeah, great race on the Sunday. I mean, to see Lewis win his last home race with Mercedes was incredible. And I think even if you weren't a Mercedes or Lewis fan, I think a lot of people were just happy at the fact he won. I mean, I was buzzing Logan got his highest finish. It was so close to points. I'm there thinking, if one of them could just retire now, safely, of course, we'll always go for safety. He gets a point, but no, it was a decent race. I don't think the crowd knew who to cheer for in the end, because I think every time someone else changed the lead, we had Lando, Oscar, George, Lewis, everyone cheered, but then everyone was looking at each other like, am I meant to cheer? Am I not meant to cheer? What do I do?
Who am I supporting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
You've got 3 British drivers, haven't you?
Yeah.
I don't
Which
want
one
all of them to win.
I mean, I know who I wanted to win.
Well, yes.
But I didn't mind that it was Lewis that won in the end.
I didn't, and that's something for me.
Yeah.
That is definitely something for you.
But it was, I suppose, like you say, with it being his last race with Mercedes, it was very poetic that he won. I was just happy that George didn't win, because that would have really finished me off.
I'm not watching that.
That was, I just feel like, even if like people, it was a case of like, if you didn't, there were quite a few people that were talking against George and things like that, but I think even they were a bit like, to see a British driver retire, they were a bit like, oh, but it's George kind of thing. It was a bit like,
I would have been waving my flag in that air so high for everybody.
Oh my God.
Every time Logan went past and you just have me screaming, the looks I got off the people around me, they're like, you're actually cheering for the person we think you're cheering for.
Oh my God.
Like with Franco in FP1, it was all silent, and then I think like you all saw the video of me just going, woo, as he goes past.
Yeah. We've all done that. Especially me. No one else supports Pierre but me.
It was like us in Barcelona,
It
wasn't
was
it?
literally like us.
Well, yeah, because we was in Spain, and I know obviously Alonso was Spanish, but everyone was there. Everyone was an Alonso fan, and I was having absolutely none of it. The disrespect to Carlos, I wasn't happy with it. I got my flag out and everything. I was
Waving around
by myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always funny when you because you obviously you get your big groups of fans who support one driver and they're all together, and then you just get one person who's like, yay, Spain.
That was Rebecca in Silverstone.
Yeah.
Go on, Logan.
Surrounded by Mercedes fans, and then you've just got me screaming for Logan and Alex. And it was same in like the F2 and F3. It was silent throughout the F3. There were like 4 people in our grandstand on the Friday when we sat there watching it. It were mad. And then it was when it was qualifying, everyone around us is just having a little chat. Luke Browning gets Paul. I deafened everyone around us, scared everyone, and I had like people looking at me like, we don't know what's going on. I'm just there like, Luke Browning's got Paul.
So cute.
It is mad to think that you pay all of that money to go and watch a race weekend, and you're only really showing up to watch F1 when they've got all of those support races there as well.
Well, when we went to Barcelona, I don't watch F3 or F2, but if I've paid for that ticket, hell, I'm going to be there and I'm going to watch every car go around on that grid. I don't know who anyone is in those races, but I'll watch it and I'll cheer for whoever you're cheering for.
Yeah, literally did as well.
I only want to know Arthur. And that's only because he's Charlie's brother.
Arthur and Ollie were the only ones that I really knew, and I was just like, yeah.
I was there last year for Silverstone, and like I was with my dad and my sister who didn't know a lot about F2 and F3, but I was supporting Clem. Like no one in my grandstand was supporting Clem. It was horrible. I was like screaming. My sister was like, "Who is that you're cheering for?" And I was like, "It's Clem." Anytime he's car would come round and go, "There he's there." And like honestly, what you were saying, Rebecca, about like how no one was really there watching F2 and F3. It was the same last year. I was like, this is so bizarre. I'm like, these are really good things to watch because this is kids like learning the sport, and I feel like it's a lot more like, as much as I love everyone, I think it's a lot more exciting watching the kids make the step up to the different levels. I think that there's something just so exciting about it because like I remember watching Liam, Oscar, and Felipe all in F2, and now all of them are on the way up to F1 or nearing it anyway. Like it's just, I feel like there's something just really exciting about watching that journey.
Yeah, especially as a Liam fan, I found him at F2. So I've gone from F2 to DTM to Super Formula to getting in F1 and doing a few races while Danny was injured to potentially having a seat next year. Like, I don't get why people wouldn't want to follow someone's journey like that and then be like, oh my God, he's made it. Like, obviously, for my New Zealand friend, she said everyone in New Zealand is buzzing for him. Like, so excited that he's possibly getting a seat because it's huge. Like, when was the last New Zealand driver to get a seat in F1? Like, it's been so long that if he does get the seat, it's huge for him. So it's not just F1 drivers, it's the ones below as well that you need to pay attention to.
I've followed Lando since F2, and that season of F2, George, Alex and Lando is such a great season.
That was so good, that season.
Like me finding Logan, it's like the amount of questions I get on why I'm a Logan fan. It's like I followed him through his career, and it was like the last race when he just needed like a few points to be able to get into F1. I mean, I've never heard him so angry or so like however he was on the radio. It was one of the funniest things. But it's like to then see him move up to F1, and it's like I'll still get questioned now, like why Logan my favourite with like some of his performances and things like that. But it's like to see them graduate and see them achieve their dream, and like you've gone on that journey with them in a way. It's like it feels a lot more special to then see it happen, like making their debut in F1. I'm sure you all like felt it when like Lando did and everything like that. So it's like I do. And it's just chaos in F3. I mean, 30 drivers.
It's mad. It's absolutely wild, isn't it?
Anyone asked me to describe what it's like, I said it's like giving 30 kids a car and telling them to drive.
It literally is.
I know,
some of them can't even drive.
I didn't realise like a lot of them are so young. Like I expected them all to be like 18 and up, and like some of them are like 15.
There's little babies in there.
Yeah.
Mad.
think it's just a lot more like from when we watched it. It's just, I mean, F1 seems to be a little bit closer now, but there's times where, you know, it's just no one's really close. Everyone has, you know, their own little pockets of groups. And F2 and F3 just seem a lot more competitive, a lot closer. Not that I watch it. I can't lie. I don't watch any. I don't watch it. I'd watch it if I was there, but I don't watch it just because I can't deal with the stress of, you know, I already have about 1 million drivers that I support. I
Don't need any more.
can't have anymore.
You need to just pick a couple from F1 so that you can deal with having a couple from somewhere else.
Just two.
All right, I'll have to ditch some then.
Yeah.
Join me and Kel in IndyCar. It's fun.
No, don't be dragging me over to that yet.
You can come and support Pato.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, I know him, so I'll support him. But I probably won't watch it. I don't know
only
him.
support Pato in IndyCar.
Come support Pato and Marcus.
I'll probably be joining next year because of the Logan rumours. It sounds like he's going to IndyCar, so I think I'll be on it next year. We'll have to take a trip to America.
I'm dying to go and my family won't go, so I need someone who want to go with me.
Oh, I'll come for lols.
Yeah. As soon as Logan's announced, we'll get it booked.
Yeah.
I was watching like the Screaming Meals podcast, which I don't know if you've watched that. So Marcus was explaining IndyCar once, and he said there's practically no security. Like you can walk onto the pit, you don't need a paddock pass or anything.
Then that's where we'll go.
Walk into a driver's room. He's like, I wouldn't recommend doing that because you will be getting kicked out. He's like, but you physically can do that. He's like, the security's so lax there. He's like, it's nothing like F1. It's a lot more chilled and a lot calmer in environment. Because I feel like a lot of people haven't really discovered it out with America. Like, therefore, it's just not got that kind of hype yet that F1 does, but it so deserves it. It's like, Kel can agree with me, it is one of the best sports I've ever seen. It's just, again, it's sheer chaos. It's like, it's got the number of people in F2. It's got like, I think it's got like 30 drivers or something actually. And it's like, it's just chaos.
Yeah, that's why I watch Formula E and touring cars and the minis.
Everything.
Because the racing's just is so much closer and so much more exciting than F1. Like, yeah.
I tried to watch Formula E, but
you fell asleep.
You fell asleep.
We were just sat like watching it. We turned around and just fast asleep.
You had a good
napping
time.
in the corner.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it racing. It's the cars. I like the sound of. I love a nap in the car, so I like the sound of a car. Makes me sleepy.
I do like the sound of if I could just sit there and watch a race or like a practice or something with no other commentary or sounds, just the cars. I think that would that would really make me fall asleep.
Yeah.
Fun fact: there's actually ambience of that on YouTube.
You're
in the garage and you can just hear it. It's like black screen and everything.
Oh wow!
That's quite nice.
A couple months ago, I was going through a phase of like ambience where it's like you fall asleep in the car and it's like rain and stuff, and I was like, I wondered if Formula One ambience exists, and it does. It very much does.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm so happy now.
Are we checking that out?
I will try and find it and send you a link to it.
Yeah. Oh well, I think we should think about wrapping up. As much as I love talking to you, the podcast is going to end up being about an hour and a half long at this rate.
Well, we've got Spa next. Will it rain? Will it not?
Oh, I like Spa, but unfortunately, I will not be with you for Spa.
Disgusting.
Yes, you know, it's just rude.
Enjoying my holidays.
It's just rude.
Well, I hope you're sweating your back out.
It's all right. If I am, I'll just get in the pool.
Well, I hope it's too cold.
If it's raining and chucking it down, it's grey and it's cloudy.
Thank you. Thanks. If you jinx me now, I'm not going to be happy.
I hope they're having great weather, and the week that you go, they're having torrential downpour.
Cheers, girls. Thank you so much.
You are
welcome.
Well, it was lovely to have you on for your first podcast, girls. I hope you sure you made the right decision to join us still after that?
I love it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll get a message in a bit blocked.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just don't think that we can do this.
Rachel and Rebecca have left the group.
I'm sure that's not true.
No.
Well, it's been great. It's good to be back.
It is.
And we will see you next week for Spa. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.